Okay, hello, hello. Oh my God, I am trapped up in all this. I'm just gonna unplug this because I don't need that plugged up. Hello, my beautiful people. This is Tahiri Devine, also known as Diana, the metaphysical midwife. I'm here today to bring you guys some really great information to help you through your spiritual journey because not only am I the teacher and healer, I'm also a student. And as I learn, I share with you guys. So let's get into it today. So, as you guys read from the title, it's talking about why you having an energy dry spell. So, during my time away, guys, I was going through my own energetic dry spell, particularly in my life. Um, I was manifesting so many great things in my life. I was putting out my intentions and they were coming forward. And I started to feel really drained doing that. Not only was I requesting and intentfully putting out and doing what I had to do to get to the levels of manifestation I wanted, I have to be honest, I actually stopped there. I was constantly in this creative process, just creating and creating and creating. Kind of like I was telling you guys how you can get caught up in the content creating aspect of just creating content, creating, and not necessarily taking the time or realizing you need to take time for maintenance work and sustainability. So I had to really get my life the other day, actually, when I was listening to who I consider to be a teacher for me, even though I never worked with her personally. I have watched many of her videos. She goes by the name Lucretia Haynes Reno on YouTube, but you can find her as M Rain on Facebook. And I'll make sure to leave her information in the description below. But what she taught me, and it's interesting how you can know a thing, but you don't know a thing till you know a thing, or until you actually experience that thing. And she was talking about I'm going to talk about how it relates to my life, but she was mentioning how we are constantly creating and wanting to manifest things. For instance, let's say like when we're in the church, right? Because I came from the Christian paradigm, and you're asking God for a man and you want a man, and you finally manifest, you do the things you need to do to get the man, right? And a lot of times once we get the man, we stop going to church, or you don't do your Bible study, or, you ain't coming around for the singles group meetings anymore because now you are occupied with this man. And she said typically that happens, the man or the relationship with said man falls apart, and we're all like, oh my God, what happened? Well, the other part of it is, excuse me, I just ate lunch too, so excuse me. The other part of that goes with that is that there is maintenance that's required to maintain a relationship with said man or said thing that you're trying to manifest. And there is a sustaining aspect. And it's one of these things that I know because I used to grow plants, and I grew a lot of, back when I was in the South, I grew a lot of my own garden. I did a lot of my own gardening. So I know the process of planting seeds, the creating process, and the birthing process of a new a new plant, so forth, and then the maintenance that's required to maintain and sustain the life of said plant. And so the same concept applies into whatever you're manifesting, whether it is a relationship or a business or an idea that you want to turn into the physical form. There is, once it comes into fruition, there is a maintenance that's required. And now this goes into spiritual work as well. If you're no longer in the Christian paradigm as I am, and you're now tapping more into your own energy and working with either deities or other spirits set forth, there's so much information that talks about how to lure a thing to you, how to use the law of attraction to lure it to you, right? But we're not getting so much information on how to sustain and maintain said thing. So it's more than just doing a ritual to have something drawn to you. Now you have to either create a new ritual or learn a ritual to maintain it. So your magic doesn't stop because you brought it forth. It's like when you have a baby. Okay, now that you've done the creative process to create a baby, there is some maintenance required to ensure that this baby grows into a full mature adult, right? And so that part really shook me in my own life because that's what I was going through in my space away from you guys, was really realizing that I was creating so much, and I had my creativity going in many different vehicles. And I was feeling kind of energetically drained, and I felt like I was in an energetic dry spell. Like I had created all these things, but now that I have it, it feels like there's too much. I don't have the wherewithal or the energetic energy to maintain these things, let alone other aspects of my life, because of the constant producing, right? So I had to draw back and allow spirit to pour back into me and show me like, hey, chick, you got to now maintain the very set things you want. You got everything you asked for. Now you need to ask for a different set of strength. You ask for the strength to manifest it, because anything you want, you can have. And I'm telling you, anything I want, I can have, and I have gotten those things. But now it's like, now that you have these things, what are you doing to maintain it, right? So I had to shift my energy to learn that there's a new set of things to do. Like I just can't stop doing my prosperity rituals, because now that I've attained different businesses and different relationships with people, they require a certain maintenance. They require a certain energy, as well as what I'm doing in my interactions. Also, what I'm doing in my spiritual practice as well, because greater responsibility comes to those who ask for more. And I'm kind of thinking back on when they talk about the spirit of the prayer of Jabez. And in there, you can find a story in Chronicles. I think it's in First Chronicles or maybe Second Chronicles. If you could just Google it, you guys will find him. And in the prayer of Jabez, he was asking for the Lord to expand his territory. And that's expanding his reach, expanding his level of influence. And for somebody like myself who wants my level of influence to be expanded, there's a level of responsibility that comes with that. And there's a level of work that comes with me in my practice, my daily life, that must coincide with said thing I want to have in my life. So I'm talking about what are these energetic dry spells that we go to, and what's the benefit of having a dry spell? For me, the biggest benefit that I see with having an energetic dry spell is that now you're in a place that you have to receive, because creating and doing is a very masculine energy. And there's a time for us to tap into our personal masculinity, just as much as there's a time for us to tap into our inner femininity and receiving. And it's like, okay, now it's time to receive these downloads. I asked for the thing I want. Now I need to learn and know, how can I maintain this thing? How can I grow it? What ways do I need to enhance my work? One of the biggest things that really stood out to me too in Miss sister's video was about the protection spells. Like we do protection spells on ourselves, our families, when we travel. A protection spell doesn't have to be a whole ritualized, involved thing. It could just be something as speaking life and exchange and energy over myself as I go to about, my day. And she says, how many of us really do that with our money, with our business, with our relationships, our business partnerships, right? And it made me think like, wow, I never thought of that aspect. Like, yeah. And I did a whole class last year on protection. And it goes to show you, like, we're always constantly still learning and teaching and learning. That's the constant ebb and flow of this life. And I'm so thankful to be here and to share that with you guys, with my story, that as I'm growing and building in my own strength and my own power, I shared it with you guys, and I'm completely just being candid with you all on that. So I really looked at my dry spell that I was in as a way to recalibrate now and refocus. It's like, okay, now that you have these things, how do you need to maneuver, right? It's one thing to look a part. It's a whole other thing to be the part and be what you say you are. Just be it. And taking in the needed information, sitting under someone if you need to, reading more, journaling, working with the elements in a different way. That you work with them one way to create, now work with them in another way to maintain. And so that was really another eye-opener, aha moment for me, to realize that the whole purpose of a dry spell is to slow you down, to say, hey, all right, now that you've got what you want, can you hold it on, or do you need to let some things go? And that's the beautiful thing about currently right now, we're in Scorpio season, and that's what this whole diving deep is going into. And then we're in Mercury retrograde, but Mercury should be going direct, if not yet today. I think she did yesterday, or he, however you guys interpret Mercury to be. But I want to come share that with you guys about the energetic dry spells and the benefits of it, the purpose of it, and how you can use this to really enhance your life, not just your spiritual. And this is the thing. I think a lot of times we separate spirituality and physicality, like they're two different things, but it's actually the same thing. You know, you can't be physical without a spirit. You necessarily not spirit without the physical. There's a constant interaction between the two. There's a song and dance between the two. Even if you leave your body to be in spirit, there's still some sort of interaction with the physical world, if you understand what I'm saying. But all right, guys, that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. This is Tahiri Devine. You can find me on all my social sites as Tahiri Devine. If you guys have not done so, go ahead and check out my live video that I did last Sunday with Divinelykissedcollection. We are giving away a coupon code for the Black Friday sale, Cyber 2019. You guys can use that coupon code to get a really great special deal on our cyber sale that's going to be going on for Black Friday. Check out, join the newsletter so that you guys can get even more information on saving some really great discounts and some really good other great products that are coming into line. Because Divinelykissedcollection is your number one store for divine essentials for your spiritual and metaphysical needs. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be live again this Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Pacific, going in specifically talking about yoni breathing. So I'm excited to talk about this aspect with you guys because it's been a powerful addition in my own life as far as being connected. And so I look forward to sharing that with you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.